guys, welcome back to our channel. We are here for yet another week of the Savvy Blondes. I'm Ash.
And I'm Caitlin.
And welcome back. So we have some kind of weird, sad news. I guess it's sad, but I guess that depends on how you look at it. And that's kind of the topic of our whole video today. So obviously we're going to continue with the channel. It's nothing like that, so don't panic. But our Disney trip got like majorly postponed. Wah, wah.
So sad.
So Caitlin, why don't you kind of give us the story of what happened?
Yeah, so I got an email a couple of days ago saying that our rental for our place that we were staying when we go on the trip was canceled.
I'm dying. Sorry.
No, you're good. So I got an email saying that our rental was canceled from the company that we had rented through, you know, kind of how you rent houses and stuff like that, or rooms and houses. And it like didn't give me any other information except for you can get a refund for like the money that you paid already back, or you can take that money and then here's $15 extra to help you with finding another rental, you know, a couple of weeks beforehand.
So shady.
Yeah, so upsetting. So I gave them a phone call. I was sitting at work. Thank goodness I have amazing bosses, because I was like putting the company on speakerphone, like waiting to hear from them while I'm sitting at work doing other stuff.
So professional.
Yes, adulting, yay. And I finally get on like the phone with a person and I'm talking with her and I was like, dude, I work in the service industry. Like my anger is so misplaced. I'm so upset about this, but like I need help. Like this is so crappy. We're going on this trip in a couple of weeks. We have it all planned. We've announced it. Like, how can you help me? And so she's trying so hard to find me like another rental. She's asking, okay, where are you going? What's your budget? Like how many people are there? Yada, yada, yada. Well, then I get on the phone with her manager, who was just like the worst human being ever. I feel so bad that this woman has him as her manager because he just sucked. And he basically just starts yelling at me being like, you know what, like it's not her job to help you, like she's not your personal planner, and like by our, you know, little contract that you sign when you like rent a rental through us, we can cancel on you up to 48 hours beforehand because that's the thing that we can do. And I was like, well, that would be really crappy, is if like we went on this trip and then like 48 hours before we're supposed to get there, they're like, oh, by the way, you don't have a place to go.
Yeah, BT jobs.
Yeah.
I guess there was like a conference in town, right?
Yeah, so we're going to California. We were going obviously to Disneyland in California, and there's this amazing conference called NAMM. And for those of you who don't know, I work in a music store as like one of my jobs, and so NAMM is like one of the biggest conference for musicians. Like that happens twice a year, once in California and then usually in Tennessee the other half of the year. And all these musicians come together and they get to learn about other music, and then there are rock stars that come and they'll play for different like instrument brands that they're sponsored by, and it's so, so neat. So there were all these musicians in town, and basically a musician that wanted to go to the conference and had kind of waited because it's the same time we were going, went to the people that we were renting our rental from, and they were like, hey, we'll double what these people were going to pay. And so they were like, peace out, bye.
Yeah, right,
like,
bye.
Yeah, like double the money? Heck yes. And then
I
they didn't go through the rental company, so then they got cash.
Like I get it because it's business, but like,
Exactly.
So, all that to say, we're not going to Disneyland this month. We're so sad.
I needed a break.
I know, right? It's only January. It's only like halfway through January. We're already like, we need a break.
I had 2 weeks off for winter break, and this is just like the worst thing ever.
That's the worst part of adulting. You don't get like holiday breaks, like summer break or winter. Anyways, so we are going to be going to Disneyland. We're going to go for my birthday, which is in May. So keep staying tuned for that.
Woo! It'll be so fun.
It's going to be awesome. And, you know, it kind of gave us an opportunity to, like, grow and learn through this process. One, that booking through a room or house rental company definitely comes with some risks. Even though you might save a few dollars, it definitely comes with the risk of being canceled upon. And I know that happened to my parents as well before a really big family vacation. Like, 12 of us were staying in this house and they canceled. Thankfully, it was like a few months in advance.
Oh, okay.
So we had enough time to, change plans. But so, renter beware if you're going through one of those home or room rental agencies or sites. They can do that to you, and that's in the contract, and they owe you nothing.
No.
So we're going to figure out what to do. And I think, we're talking about maybe trying to do a hotel this time, but then it's more expensive. But on the positive side, everybody has more time to save up cash for the trip. Budgeting, yay. And we have somebody who's going to come and talk to us about budgeting next month. So that's really exciting. Braylon from Thrive is going to be coming to talk to us about budgeting.
Love Braylon.
She's awesome. And so we're going to be chatting with her all about budgeting and how to create a budget. So I think the lesson in all of this, for me anyways, and I'm sure probably for you as well, is when you're when something throws a wrench in your plans and you're presented with a problem or like a major roadblock in our case, you have a couple options. You know, you can just decide to throw a fit about it and cancel the whole thing and just have like a really crappy attitude and be like, well, this is like the worst thing that could have happened and everybody's so crappy and all that, right? Or you can take it to a positive and, you know, I think it depends on what you believe personally, but personally I believe that like everything works together for good in the end, you know? And so obviously there was a reason that we weren't supposed to go in January. I don't know what that was. There's a reason we're supposed to be going later. So I'm trying to choose, is the key word here. It's not easy. I am trying to choose to embrace that and to
just be positive.
Roll with it.
Yes.
Because it's hard when you're, and I mean, this sounds very like, oh my God, I can't go to Disneyland.
Like hashtag first world problems, right?
But it's applicable to other things. Because I'm sure, like, you've had stuff go wrong in your life, right?
I feel like I just attract bad luck, guys. Like, literally,
like,
it's
don't
so
take her
bad.
to Vegas.
Yeah, don't bring me to Vegas. Don't take me on vacations with you. Like, I will be I'm like a magnet. And I'm Irish, so, like, I'm supposed to be all the good luck.
Supposed to be lucky.
I'm 50% Irish. The leprechauns did not bless me. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
What's the other 50%?
I'm 25% English and 25% German.
Well, that's what you got through. Anyway, no offense if you're English or German. But it definitely presents you with an opportunity to kind of learn and grow through that and apply that to other areas of our lives. And I know for me, there's been a lot of things I feel like in my life where things just didn't go as planned. And it hurt in the moment and it sucked. And sometimes it sent me spiraling into depression or left with crippling anxiety. But you know what? In the end, I can definitely see, you know, when I look back, I mean, I'm not old yet, but when I look back on the last, you know, few years or the last 10 years or whatever, that everything happened for a reason. Like, legitimately, I can see that, like, oh, when this went wrong and this happened in my life, like, I grew from that.
Right.
And so I think we wanted to just kind of talk about some times in our lives where things didn't go according to plan and kind of how we grew from that and what benefits we have seen from that since then. So.
Absolutely. Well, and I think like you raised a really good point too, because like you can see it, and like I know during our first video when we were talking about like New Year, not new me resolutions, that journaling is such an amazing thing that we recommend that you guys do, and I know I've started to get into it. And like journaling about those things, you know, like today I had a really crappy day, and then like 6 months from now you look back and you're like, oh man, like there's been so many other things that have happened since then, like that doesn't even look that bad anymore.
Sounds so sad.
That's my life.
That was the worst thing that happened to you. So many other bad things. Well, I think absolutely journaling is helpful too, because it helps to put things in perspective. And I think that was your point. Is like, you know, you start making mountains out of molehills sometimes. And so it's good to be able to look back and say, okay, that felt really, really bad in the moment, but it wasn't too bad.
No, or that you grew from it, or you learned something from it. And
it just makes me that, honestly, like, I can honestly say this, it does make me that much more excited for our trip in May, because I keep thinking to myself, like, what amazing things does the universe have in store for us in May that we wouldn't have gotten to do or wouldn't have had a chance to have happen had we had this trip in January. So it was really frustrating in the moment, super embarrassing, because we had already like announced it, made a big deal of it. We had all these plans to do filming and stuff, which we'll still do, but it's going to be postponed a couple of months. So we appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. And yeah, so let's chat though. What's been some times in your life where you've just kind of got derailed, but then you see, looking back, that it was all for the good?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so my freshman year of college, I was on the honor scholarship at the college that I go to, and one of the things with the honor scholarship is that you are on like an adjusted grading scale. So you have to maintain like a B or above, you can't get C's, but anything below an 84% is considered a C.
Yikes.
And so I got my first C ever in a class that also had another adjusted grading scale, so it was even higher because I'm an education major. And so like I'm over here freaking out, and I literally lost like this full ride scholarship because I got a C. That wasn't really a C. I think it was like an 82%.
Oh my gosh.
And I was so upset because I just didn't get it. And so my second semester, freshman year of college, I actually didn't go, which is why I'm like kind of behind for like my age on like school stuff, because not only did I not know what I wanted to do and changed my degree like 3 times, but I also couldn't afford to go, you know? Like I was like, I really don't want to take out loans. I don't have anything saved up for college. Holy crap, like what do I do? And so I just didn't go and worked every day, which is still what I do, and now that makes it easier for me to do that now.
But that's still adulting.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really taught me like resilience, you know, like there were so many times when I was like, I don't want to go back. Like why don't I just go do this, or why don't I just go do that? And it just really taught me, you know what, like you roll through the punches, you get over it, and now I'm back on a scholarship. I'm on a different scholarship, still a full ride though, and like it has kind of taught me to also check your grades consistently.
Right. And I'm sure you value the experience of going to school so much more now.
Well, I do. Like I've always loved school. Like I'm such a little like geeky nerd, whatever. Because I if I could be a student forever, I would. Like I think learning is just like the most amazing human experience that you can have.
I don't get it.
And I love writing papers.
Okay.
So
that's cute. Cheers to that, girl. I don't understand. But anyways.
But yeah, so it taught me like all of that, but it also just was like one of those things where now I have this experience of like that was one of my lowest lows. I was so depressed that semester. Like I didn't have a lot of human interaction because I worked at a school during that time. So like I saw all these small children, and yeah, you know what? Small children, great. You can't really have an adult conversation with a 4-year-old though. Contrary to popular belief, guys. But yeah, so it just kind of taught me, you know, you roll with the punches, you grow through it, grow through what you go through, and it's just, yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. And, you know, I think going through those really hard times also enables you to empower other people through their hard times. And I know that's one big thing for me. I mean, not to like really harsh the mellow or get to like a really deep place, but you know, we wanted to be real and authentic and honest with you on the channel. You know, a few years ago, God, it was probably 7 years ago now, almost 7 years ago now, I was sexually assaulted, and it was my lowest low. It was, I didn't think like I could get any lower. I felt worthless. I felt dirty and ashamed and just all the bad feels that you could possibly feel. And, you know, it really kind of put the trajectory of my life in this really weird place where I was just kind of like, this is my life now. This is it. This is over. Like, I'm not worth anything. And, you know, slowly I was able to kind of, I don't know even how to say, re-enter society almost. Like it was this weird thing where I just completely pulled out of everything and everyone, and I didn't have friends, and I didn't, you know, I wasn't involved in my community at all. And, you know, slowly I kind of started trusting people again, and I started, you know, getting back out there and making new friends, and, you know, we moved and that helped, and, you know, so a change of pace and a change of surroundings and whatnot. But it was really, really hard. And I did the work, and I went to counseling for a couple years, and that's when I got diagnosed formally with depression and anxiety. And so, you know, then it was, you know, having to balance how to treat that and what was going to work for me. And so it was a really sad and hard, long adventure, right? But the really amazing thing that came out of that for me, because that was kind of the one thing I clung to during that whole experience, was, okay, like this was really a shitty thing that happened, like pardon my French, but it was a really bad thing. And I kept thinking, like, what is the purpose of this? Like, why me? Why did this happen? And, you know, the thing that I really clung to as I went through all of that and on my journey of healing was that at some point, someday, someone else is going to go through that. Someone close to me, or someone I know, or someone I don't know that I'm going to come in contact with. And I'm going to have the tools now to help them get through that, to, you know, shine light into that very dark situation and say, it gets better and it's going to be okay and there's hope for you. And, you know, sure enough, I can't even tell you how many times I've been presented with opportunities to talk to women and girls about being sexually assaulted or, you know, being hurt by men, and, you know, provide them with that hope and
Right.
speak into their life and say it's going to be okay. Like, you're not dirty, you're not used, you're not, you know, no one's abandoned you. Like, it's okay, you're going to get through this. And so I think, you know, when you go through those hard times, whether it's a canceled trip to Disneyland or whether it's, you know, being assaulted and having the worst possible things imaginable happen to you, you know, not only can you learn from that and grow from that and become a better person, but you can also use those experiences as a way to help and empower other women and other people. And I think that that's probably the greatest gift that you get from having those wrenches thrown into your plans.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's crazy.
That was so inspirational, guys. I'm gonna cry.
Aww.
Like, that was so great.
Well, you know, I think it's important to be open and honest with people and to share, you know, about things like that, especially, you know, sexual assault and things. And there's such a stigma around it. And you know us, like on this channel, this is one thing that we want to do. We want to challenge those stigmas. We want to break down those barriers, and we want to talk about those things that are really hard to talk about. And so if you have a story of, you know, yourself that you would like to share going through a hard time, like, we definitely want to hear it. We're not going to put you on blast on our channel and talk about you and pick apart your situation, you know, but if you want to come on our channel and you want to share your story and how that's helped you help other people, or if you just want to share your story and have someone to vent to or to talk to, Caitlin and I are always here. We're always available to you. You can email us at thesavvyblondes@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Instagram, just at thesavvyblondes. We're super easy to find. You can even just go to our website and contact us, thesavvyblondes.com. But we want you guys to know that when life throws curveballs your way and you kind of are really unsure how to handle it, because sometimes the problem is unlike anything you've ever dealt with before, and it could be something massive like losing your job, becoming homeless, you know, struggling with drug addiction, or it could be something really simple like, you know, flunking out of school or, you know, losing a trip to Disneyland or, you know, something like that. But whatever is going on in your life, you have those choices, and we want you to feel empowered to make the choice to see it as an opportunity to grow instead of something there to kick you down and make you feel defeated forever, because it's not that way forever.
One of the things that, like, I always tell my friends when they're going through stuff like that is, like, you're not a stagnant being. Like,
that's so true.
The crazy thing is, like, when you start to feel comfortable, I feel like that's when some of these bad things start happening. Not always. Obviously, sometimes they happen when, like, you're constantly changing and you're growing and, like, you're doing great things, and then, like, this giant curveball comes. But, like, I feel like when we start to get really comfortable and we stop growing and we start saying, you know, I'm just okay being here, that's when you lose your job, or that's when this crazy other thing happens, or, like, you get a divorce, or, like, your significant other cheats on you, and, like, you start realizing all of these things around you that you kind of have been blindsided by because you're just so in tunnel vision. Like, I'm comfortable here, this is where I'm safe, and you're not stagnant. Like, you need to constantly be changing, you need to constantly be growing, and life will kick you in that direction if you're not going to do it yourself.
Yeah. And I think it's all an opportunity to grow.
Absolutely.
You know, I think all of life is an opportunity to grow. And I see that so much in my own life, and opportunities where things happen to me and I choose not to grow from them.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I really struggle with patience. That's like a huge thing I struggle with. I'm a really very impatient person. And so, you know, things happen either with my kids or just in my life where I know I literally can see, like, being handed the opportunity, like, hey, you struggle with patience, here's an opportunity to work on it. And I'm just like, nope, not today. I'm just going to be impatient. And I do. And you know, I notice such a difference in myself and how my relationship with myself doesn't improve when I don't improve on my issues and when I don't improve on things I need to work on.
Well, and like, that's, I think we all have that. Like, I know, like, yesterday, perfect example. So I have a really big issue with, like, speaking out. So, like, if something, like, uncomfortable happens to me, or, like, if it happens to me, I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, I will just deal with it internally and, like, get over it. Yeah. If it happens to one of my friends, I'm like, no, you go tell somebody. Like, you're going to
oh my God,
make them,
so
like,
true.
heck. Like,
so true.
It's going to be bad. And so, like, last night, I'm out with my friends, we're out dancing or whatever, and some kid, like, bumped into me, so I spilled my drink on my hand. And, like, I went and I shook it off like this to, like, get the liquid off, and this kid was behind me, and, like, I accidentally hit him, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Well, he thinks it's funny to, like, do the same motion back, but then, like, grab my boob. And I was like,
no.
And none of my guy friends I was with were able to, like, they weren't there. Like, they were all getting drinks, they were all doing whatever, and I'm with, like, my one girlfriend. And I was like, did you just see that happen? She was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Like, whatever.
Sorry. That's so violating.
It is. But I was just like, you know what? Like, it's fine. And, like, we go tell my guy friends, and they're like, no, you need it. Do you remember what he's wearing? Like, let's go find the security guard. And I'm like, no. And they're like, it's okay to be that girl. They were like, you're not going to be that girl to anybody else but that guy, and you should be that girl to that guy because he just touched you.
Absolutely.
And that's, like, one of the hardest things. Like, that happens a lot. Like, not just to me, but to my friends when we go out, and I'm like, please don't touch me. Like, I have a bubble. Like, I want to, like, bring a hula hoop with me and be like, this is my space, and, like, don't enter it. And so it's something I'm trying to improve on this year, because I really feel like I need to speak out. Like, if I'm going to be going around saying, you know what, my goal is to empower women, my goal is to make girls of all ages feel confident and strong and you have the tools to be able to utilize in any situation that comes up like that, I need to be able to do the same thing, otherwise I'm a hypocrite.
It starts with you, for sure.
Yeah, it's a learning experience.
It is. And, you know, as, like, kind of an aside, you know, one of the episodes that we have planned for this channel is going to a teacher of self-defense and learning how, and then passing that on to you guys on how to defend yourself, because it is a scary world out there for us as women. And I feel like oftentimes so many of us kind of go through our lives in public feeling just really out of control of our surroundings and feeling like things just happen to us and we don't really have a lot of control. So I know one of the really big things that is helpful for a lot of women that I haven't done yet, partially because of the PTSD that I struggle with from being assaulted, is going to take a class on self-defense. So that is one of the fears I'm going to be overcoming right along with you guys on this channel. That's one of the episodes we have planned, and I'm actually kind of excited about it. Like, I'm looking forward to having it done and, like, having, like, if that makes sense, like, I'm looking forward to the feeling of empowerment that will come with taking the class. Not necessarily, like, the actual class itself, because that feels a little scary to me, but I know that I'm in a safe place. You'll be there.
Yes, I've done it before.
So that's one of the things that we're going to be putting on the channel. So
I'm very excited.
Very exciting. Yeah. So anyways, well, this was a fun little chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've almost finished up my kombucha.
I have not.
I said it right this time.
Yes. Yay!
Woo! Yay! I said it right.
Jazz hands.
I passed the millennial test. I said kombucha right. Anyways.
Oh gosh, we need to start doing that. Millennial test. Can you say this word?
Can you say this word? Or do you know what this is? Or, oh my gosh, right?
I might have to put some lingo on there that I don't know. Like, for the longest time, I didn't know what swag was. Swag was a millennial thing.
Isn't swag like stuff we all get?
Swag.
Isn't that the acronym? Or
is it
that's
the
from The Office. Is that actually a thing, or is that just something Michael
I thought
Scott
swag
says?
was something that people just said when they're like, swag, shoddy, like all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either.
This is like an old millennial and a young millennial talking.
Oh no.
And we have two very different. No, swag is the free stuff you get when you go to places.
Oh yes, that is what that is.
And that stands for stuff we all get. And I thought from that, people were like, oh, maybe swag in that sense comes from the word swagger.
Yes,
which
like
is
being
like
cool.
The way that you carry yourself.
Except like a noun.
Like this. Oh my god. Alright guys, it's time to wrap this up before this gets any crazier. I promise this is just kombucha. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, marvelous, fantastic week.
Woo!
We are going to be coming back to you next week. Maybe we'll just do a live episode anyways, even though we won't be in Disneyland. Thanks guys so much for watching our channel, The Savvy Blondes. We'd love to thank our sponsors, Thrive Co-working for Women here in Gilbert. Thank you so much, Thrive. We're so excited and blessed to be a part of you and to be able to film here. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.